Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning and making sure that you're taking care of yourself, being good to yourself and being good to others, right? It's important to do both, and we can't afford to do one over the other. You got to do both. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and being good to you today. So happy to be here with you and hanging out here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Like I said, Cafe Kubal with locations all throughout central and upstate New York. You can hang out at Cafe Kubal by finding your way over to 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, and 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. Rob Drummond and I were out at the 324 West Water Street location, aka Creek Walk Commons, and we were there yesterday for our Tuesday, May 24th broadcast, which is a timeless broadcast where we spent time speaking about sports and life. You know that Wake Up Call's tagline is where sports meets life, and we had a very heartfelt discussion about things that we need to do to become a better world, a better planet, a better people. So it is a very deep discussion about a lot of different things that go well beyond the world of sports, and I would love for you to check it out. So definitely make sure that you do that today. It's on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. It's also on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. With that being said, here, Cafe Kubal's locations at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. Their drive-through location both welcome you proudly as well, and make sure you support them and head out there. Every cafe has a different look to it, a different feel, a different personality, so you get the same great Cafe Kubal and you get to experience 5 different cafes, which is really amazing and really cool to have a business model where they all have the same products, but they all have a different feel to them. So essentially, you can always experience something new at Cafe Kubal. If you go to Salina every week and that's where you have your coffee and that's where you get some of your work done, and then you pop over into Manlius, you're experiencing something totally different. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful model, and I shout out Matt Goddard and the team for all that they do. With that being said, inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics on today's broadcast, A Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We will jump into our Dolphin Dive in just a second with Jeff Lonczak of LeMoyne's men's tennis and women's tennis teams. The women's tennis team wrapped up their season a little while ago, finishing off 14-6 on the season and having the opportunity to get to the NCAAs and win their first ever NCAA match. The men's team just finished up a week ago today. On Wednesday of last week, they finished up when they were down in Florida, as I was down in Florida, and they were just outside of Orlando, and they played their match and finished off the season in the round of 16, advancing to the NCAA's round of 16 for Division II nationally for the first time ever in the history of LeMoyne Dolphins men's tennis. So a big shout out to them and their 22-2 season. We'll jump in to the story with Jeff Lonczak, and we'll wrap up both of those seasons coming up here in just a moment. And then at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, around then, we'll have the opportunity to speak with Scott Landers, who's a good friend of the show and a good friend overall for me, and I have the opportunity to share with him more life inside of the NCAA postseason for his Oswego State Lakers baseball team, as the team has won and is heading on to the Super Regional round in what can continue to be a very historic season itself and a memorable season. So happy to have Scott coming on the show in just a little bit. And then in hour number 2, we'll end this video and start a new video, as we do every single Wednesday, with fantasy football, so that you can get to your fantasy football library easy. And that will be on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT solely, and then we'll be sharing it on YouTube, and that's with Mr. Mike Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com. The both of us will come together and have the opportunity to speak with you about the quarterback situations all throughout the entire NFL. This edition of the Fantasy Football Hour, the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York, is going to be about all 32 quarterbacks, with our thoughts on each of them coming up in the second hour of today's broadcast. So with that being said, let's take a step aside for a quick, fast break. When we come back, we will have Jeff Lonczak here with us in a special edition of Dolphin Dive from the LeMoyne College Dolphins, inside of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, celebrating all of the teams, the coaches, student athletes, and the school itself right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life from inside of the Cafe Cabal studios. We're hanging out with you here on Facebook.com and YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. MixLR.com /WakeUpCallDT is where you're listening worldwide, and you can also listen on WakeUpCallDT.com. And we have a secondary Facebook place at Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. So with all that being said, you know, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time is Dolphin Time, and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne College Dolphins. We have the opportunity to celebrate every single week with the Dolphins, minimally on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So every first and third Wednesday, AD and DT. Every second and fourth, the Dolphin Dive. And we are in that fourth Wednesday here of May to celebrate the LeMoyne men's tennis team. I am so ecstatic, and we've been able to do this all throughout the last few weeks here. We've had a great time with multiple times we've been able to cover this team and talk about its successes. So 22-2 on the season, and we're here with head coach Jeff Lonczak. Jeff, how are we doing today?
Great, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Jeff, I mean, I didn't want to see, and I know you didn't, but didn't want to see this season end. You guys have had a tremendous run. It's been incredible. It's been so much fun to talk with you and be at these games, and be at these matches, and talk with you over these last few weeks here about everything that this team has done inside of the NE10, inside of the NCAAs in the postseason, making history to get to the round of 16 nationally for the first time ever. I wanted this season to go on for the next 10 years. So bring me into how it all ended up and just what your takeaways have been.
Yeah, no, we wanted it to continue as well. So we came out there. We ended up getting the 9 seed, playing the 8 seed in Azusa Pacific. The Pac West out there in terms of men's and women's tennis is always one of the top kind of 3 regions. The South, and then the Pacific, the 2 South regions, and then the Pacific West region is just great tennis. I mean, when I played, Hawaii Pacific actually upset Stanford back in, I think, the year 2001 maybe. So, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea. Granted, every year is different. But, yeah, so, I mean, we competed really hard. You know, started out in doubles. We won second. We lost third. And then we were at 5-all at first, and we actually had a break point. And they ended up coming up with a really big second serve and beating us in a breaker. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, for me, like, after a season, I tried. A lot of times I'm not in the best headspace, you know, like sad, you know, like, man, you know, it's over. Like, we didn't accomplish everything. But this year, coming out there, hanging with this team, it was going to be probably a 5-2 match in the end. I feel like revitalized and ready to go. So it was an awesome season, and, you know, I'm almost sad to say I'm ready for the next one.
You know, and like you said, normally at the end of the season, right, your headspace, you're sad, you're upset. What was it about this season that you're like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, I wanted to win, but you're in a better headspace.
Yeah, well, we accomplished goals, for one. For two, like, you know, going out there for the first time in a round of 16 at Nationals, you kind of think to yourself, okay, like, am I overmatched? Are we going to be able to compete? You know, and that's the big thing. You want to be able to compete, and we could. So, like, that, like, absolutely makes me stoked for next year. I mean, we're only losing 2 guys that started, you know, a third doubles team and a third singles player. So I feel like with what we got coming back and what we're adding, I mean, it's only going to be better.
And for you, speaking here with Jeff Lonczak, the LeMoyne men's tennis head coach, is celebrating a 22-2 season. Going down to Florida and being able to get to that point and to have that, what was the experience like for the guys, and how would you describe, you know, watching them experience it, seeing it through their eyes? How do you, you know, kind of look back on that? Because I'm sure there's the fond memory of the fact that, you know, it's like, hey, you guys worked this hard, that here we are in the Sunshine State getting an opportunity to do this. So bring me into seeing that moment through their eyes, so to speak.
Well, it's a great experience for them. I mean, you know, it's a first-class tournament. So, I mean, the beauty of the courts, you know, for one, like, your own Powerade. It's a great experience for Powerade and water, and then chair umpires and doubles and 2 umpires per court in singles. And, you know, stringing on site, like things of that nature. It was just awesome for them to experience that. They came away from it feeling like they were special, and they are. And the banquet on top of it. Like, I mean, the banquet was catered. It was at Topgolf. You know, it was just stuff that these guys hopefully, you know, will take with them, you know, for the rest of their lives.
When you get to see that, right, and you get to see everything that they got to experience and whatnot, what was the message despite the loss? Was it, hey, you know, now you guys know that you can get here, you know that you are a part of this, you can be a part of this, this is not above you? What was the message?
That's exactly it, Dan. You know, what I try to preach to my teams is you know, we're building constantly, trying to get better every single day, trying to get better every single year, you know. So, I mean, that's where our headspace was. Hey, we're here, we can compete. Now next year, let's get a win and try to get to the Elite Eight. Try to maybe sneak into a Final Four type of thing.
And for you, Jeff, you know, as you see this, like you said, you only have 2 guys that are finishing things up. Most of the team coming back. What does it say about what we can expect in 2022-23?
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting more. You know, to be honest, I mean, I'm trying to do my best to make the schedule even more difficult. I'm trying to get in some D1 teams that are, you know, close to some of the NE 10 teams that we play. Yeah, so I mean, we're trying to get better. The 2 grad transfers I'm bringing in, 5th-year MBA students. I mean, you know, thinking about that, like, for me, like, if I was in that situation, I'm not coming in to sit on the bench. So these guys, I feel like they're going to come in with that same mindset. And they're going to be ready to go. So I expect bigger and better things for sure.
Bring me into the grad transfers that you're bringing in, what you could tell us about them.
Yeah, so Fabian is he's finishing up. He's probably finished up his undergrad at Lincoln Memorial down south. He plays 3 there. Hopefully for us, he can come in and compete in the lineup. He's my first guy that I've had from Sweden come in. I love his work ethic and his mindset. I think he's going to be a winner in the lineup pretty much anywhere. And then Alberto Diaz is a guy from the Canary Islands who played at Nebraska Kearney. They shut down men's tennis, transferred to Midwestern State. So he's been playing D2 tennis down south. He's got an injury a little bit, but he's really rehabbing and making sure he's a complete wild card. He's a little guy. So I think I got to be able to mesh him well with outdoor versus indoor, because I feel like in an outdoor setting, he could very well be, 3-4 in the lineup, whereas indoors he could, fall out of that top 6, So, yeah, I mean, these guys are they're coming in ready to go. I mean, that's the big thing with the grad transfers, and I love it. We're pumped to have them.
So you get to go down to Florida. You get to experience it. You've done so much in your own career personally. And so, as a coach and as a player, you've had so much success. What was the experience like for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. I'm living through my players. It's awesome. And I played at that facility, Rollins College facility, a long time ago. And it's just as beautiful as it ever was. I was able to get them out to Daytona Beach. We practiced at Bethune-Cookman, which was cool. And then we went to a natural spring where we were able to do a little hike pre-match. So we got a couple miles in and just connected with the guys, in nature. So it was very cool.
Having done everything that you got to do down there, would you change anything, or do you feel like everything that you got to do really was putting your best foot forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would change anything. I mean, we did leave on Wednesday pretty close to after the match. It just kind of worked out that way. So maybe I'd stay an extra night and go back to the beach on Thursday. But other than that, no, I mean, it was a great experience. I think hopefully, the guys will remember it forever.
And this team for you, what are at the end of a 22-2 season where you won 21 straight, what words would properly identify this year's makeup of the team?
It's just a kind of a no give up mentality. I mean, these guys, regardless of conditions, 8 a.m. it was 90% humidity. I mean, there's zero give up in these guys. We're always going to fight for every single point. And, it starts at the back end of the lineup, with Ethan Miller coming out there and beating, a very good player. And then Casper at 5, he was on his way to defeating an extremely good player as well. So, I mean, the mentality that, we're here to grind, take every point, as it's our last point, is really how we accomplished those 21 in a row.
That coming from Jeff Lonczak here. LeMoyne men's tennis is what we're talking about, but you are the head coach of LeMoyne men's and women's tennis. So to wrap up both of these this season, you've had successful seasons on both sides. The women made history, the men made history. What can you say about overall looking at both of these teams? And I know we spent a lot of time speaking on LeMoyne men's tennis because your season just finished up here a week ago. What can you say about the women's side of things, what you saw from them, and what you're looking forward to as you step forward with them as well?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the women coming up. We're trying to solidify our travel plans, coming in 4 or 5 days early, getting those early practices with the new core. To be honest, that recruiting class that graduated is the best all time at LeMoyne. You got your all-time wins leader in Marta Nunez, the best player we've ever had in Berta Maz, and Brooke Fernandez, who, I think she's probably 80% overall in terms of doubles wins. She's just been a great doubles player, since day one. So trying to replace them is impossible, but we got 3 really solid incoming freshmen that I think, will add to a very, very deep team. And then we're gonna have a number of 10, which is exciting because last year we only had 6. Nobody could take a day off, type of thing. So this year with 10, I think it's going to be great. All great students, all great athletes. So it's really exciting.
Bring me into the players that are coming in and let us know a little bit more about them.
Sure. Yeah. So Two women from Spain, two women from the Madrid area. Paula Cesares is going to be, she's like a top 200 Spanish player. She's unbelievable, presidential scholar. She's going to come in and she's going to compete from day one for sure. Alicia Alvarez, she a little bit outside of the top 200 in Spain, but she's, watching her, I can tell she has zero quit in her. So it's really exciting. And then Stella Simonova from Sofia, Bulgaria is coming in, and she's just a basher. She crushes the ball. So figuring out where they all fit in terms of lineup spots is going to be challenging. But yeah, I mean, they're all great players, and they're all presidential scholars, which is amazing. So I mean, we're just excited to get them up on campus in August.
For you, you have both of these teams. We've talked about it before. How do you find balance? I mean, the women go 14-6 this season. The men go 22-2. They both make it to the NCAAs. The women make history in making it to the NCAAs and winning their first ever NCAA match. The men make it to the round of 16 nationally in the NCAAs for the first time ever, as we had stated before. And overall, we're looking at teams that posted combined a 36-8 record. How do you do this? How is Jeff 19 people, right? Because you got to be everywhere at once. You know, I was at one of the matches. You're at the match. You're with the guys. You're talking to me. You're back with that. You're talking to the ladies that came out to support. I mean, somehow, some way, you make it all work and all gel together. But it's one thing to have two programs. It's another thing to have two successful programs. And it's another thing to have two historic programs that are right now in this moment changing the game for themselves. So how does success come on both sides when you are one human being?
Well, I am one human being, true. But yeah, I mean, it is a full, staff that's there that helps. I can recruit players, but I need help with that. I mean, I need student visas to be given. I need these girls to make sure that they're all set on a compliance checkpoint. So I mean, all that goes into everything. For me, I love the coaching part and the recruiting part, but there's so much more to it. And the help that I'm able to get from LeMoyne and the administration is really what makes it work, And yeah, I mean, it's a balancing act for me. But if I'm not, running around 100 miles per hour with my hair on fire, I don't feel right. So that's kind of just me, it's good.
That comes from Jeff Lonczak here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, celebrating the LeMoyne men's tennis season that just finished up at 22-2 and the women's tennis season that finished up at 14-6, letting us know about what's coming up here recruiting-wise and who's coming in and what these teams will look like in the future for the Dolphins. Jeff, like you said, you got to enjoy Florida. You got to spend some time. Bethune-Cookman, another dad to me, and my uncle, my Papa Joe. He went to school there, and Daytona Beach is very near and dear to the heart of my family, as my Aunt Jeannie is there. My great Aunt Dorothy, that lived to be almost 100 years old, lived there. So what was it like to be down at Daytona Beach? What did you guys get to do? Did you eat anywhere special? I know diners and certain places that are right there on the water, that's where you go to. You just find those little hole-in-the-wall places to get some, eggs in the morning and get a patty melt or something at lunch or whatever and I don't know what it is about Florida, but they will put anything in an omelet and they will put that on the menu, and it's not a special. It's no, we have a shrimp omelet. Do you want it? So what did you get to try anything special?
Yeah, I mean, we got up early. We practiced on the Bethune-Cookman courts. They wanted to experience the beach, with the Daytona Beach sign and take some pictures and hang out underneath the bridge in the shade. And the guys, one from Australia, two from the southern tip of South Africa, they couldn't wrap their minds around the fact that this water is warm. And it's oh yeah, so they're jumping in, they're loving it. I mean, we did a little, we did we did a little Chick-fil-A. So I mean, we went against the grain, so to speak. I would have loved to find one of those, hole in the wall diners. That's kind of more my my brand. But we ate very well out there. And enjoyed Daytona, but kind of chilled on the beach for the day.
So you're back here. You are building for the future. Like you said, you got to go 100 miles an hour or it's not you. What's going through your mind right now? Because everybody's different, right? So have you decompressed? Do you go back and think about things and break things down? Do you take a step aside from it? Do you look in the mirror and say, hey, Jeff, you did the best that you could. Congratulations. Let's get it next time. Like, how do you treat yourself when the season is over? What do you do?
That's good. That's a good question, Dan. Yeah. So, in my mind is I'm trying to figure out a time and place where I can get away from the tennis court. Right now they got me playing a lot, so it's I'm playing all the time. So I mean I'm there grinding myself, which just kind of happened organically. But yeah. So I got to try to figure out that, and that's a big thing. Trying to get maybe a 2 week period if I can, where I'm not, recruiting or making schedules or, just on the tennis court. So I got to figure that out. A lot of times I try to get out to the Adirondacks and do some hiking, some of the high peaks and stuff like that. So trying to build some of that in. And just trying to get away while still trying to work is, kind of a challenge for me.
A challenge for you and a challenge that I understand all too well. You're like, you were on vacation. I was like, yeah, I did my work in the bathroom. But so for you said you're playing. You're still playing. You're still competing. Bring me into what is going on for you. What's on the schedule?
Yeah, well, I got bumped down a level. So now that's kind of, I guess, brought me to where I'm attractive to a lot of the teams and leagues in Syracuse. So, we've played 3 matches so far. We've kind of created this really high-level 4.5, 18 and up team, which I'm on. And then I also am playing 40 and up 4.5 too, which I've never had been able to play. So yeah, it's one of those things where I don't really practice. So I could still kind of pull myself up by my bootstraps and figure out a way to win, really, regardless of the conditions. So it's been fun. And I got a couple. We do an annual thing in Syracuse called the Marsh Cup, which is going to be at Sedgwick this year, which is in our home facility. So it's always on red clay. It's between Syracuse, Buffalo, Toronto, and Rochester. I play in that one, and then they invited me out to Philly to play at Marion Cricket Club on the grass with the 35 and up intersectional team. So that's all like kind of the best 35-year-old and up players in the Eastern section go out there, and that's just a hoot. I love playing on grass, even though I'm vertically challenged. It's still okay. So we try to figure out ways to win against really good players, and that's like the Eastern section, which is basically all of New York. We kind of play against Virginia, all of New England, and then another section close by, Mid-Atlantic or something. But yeah. So that's fun. The captain, we didn't do it because of COVID for a couple of years. The captain reached out. We won the cup 3 out of the 4 past years. So I'm hoping to bring it back to Eastern.
Yeah, and it's incredible. That's 2 successful programs and successful yourself doing your own thing. One of the best in the country is Jeff Lonczak when it comes to the sport of tennis. So pretty amazing that all of this is going on, and a very humble guy that will come over and spend 20 minutes talking with you about literally anything. And it's, there's a lot to be said about your personality, about your humbleness, and about your kind-heartedness, and the fact that you make time for people is something that has always been important to me, because time is something that you give and you can't get back. So I really do appreciate, and I thank you for everything you've done for me and everything you've done to allow me to tell the story of your teams as well as your own story. So I do very much, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for where we're going to go with this and what we're going to be able to do. And I'm thankful for your energy, because when, you have those moments where you keep going and you get tired, And then you go see Jeff, and you're kind of like this, and then bam, you're back up again doing your thing. You're like, all right, if Jeff's going, I'm going. So it's definitely been a very positive thing to see everything you've done for the community, but also just the human being that you are. When you see good people succeed, it makes you even more excited. So thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Dan. No, we love being on. We love chatting with you. The guys and girls are always checking it out. So I mean, yeah, it's been an awesome relationship, and I'm definitely excited to continue it.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a streetside cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Streetside Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, Physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are hanging out here in hour number 1 of this very special day as we get to celebrate greatness in Central and Upstate New York. And I have changed the shirt. Scott can't see it in the studio, but I've changed it to my Sandlot shirt, my Legends Never Die Sandlot shirt, because I'm ready for this. So with that being said, inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, it is now time to be rejoined by Scott Landers, who is with me just a couple weeks ago at Cafe Kubal, and we had the opportunity to have a conversation about not just the Oswego State baseball team, but to also take a look at Major League Baseball and take a look around the country. So a lot of great things that we got to do there. And within that time period, the Oswego State Lakers baseball team has continued to do great things. Heading on to the Super Regional, they gave me a lot of things to be excited about. When I was in Disney, checking my phone, making sure that that this season has continued on. So I'm a big fan. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. And as always, I appreciate a friend. So with that being said, the man who helps me break the internet every time, Scott Landers, is here. Scott, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and you're so mellow, you know? It's like when we sit and we get to talk, you know, it's on the phone, he's so mellow. But, and listen, good for you. Ice water in the veins, I guess. So bring me into it. What has gotten this team here? We talked about going into the postseason. You and I, a couple weeks ago, were speaking on what needed to be done inside of the SUNYAC, and then going from there. You guys took care of a business in a lot of different ways, had a lot, and obviously have had consistent success to bring you to where you are today. So in just a couple weeks' time of the last time you were on the show, this team is now deep into the heart of the NCAAs, so bring me into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you describe our team at this point, it's got to be resilient, just really mentally tough. And you know, we were going into the SUNYAC tournament last time I was talking, and we had a hiccup. We didn't play very well, and Cortland beat us, and we had some obstacles. I think we knew we were big picture. We lost to Brockport to eliminate us after our loss to Cortland. But we got down this past weekend in the regional, and we had a lot of obstacles we had to overcome, whether it was weather, broken down bus, games halted to the next day twice. And, we came out on top. So, like I told these guys, you got to be mentally tough and tougher than the other team, and just lock it in mentally and just focus. And they did that, and they were very resilient. And now, we have the opportunity to go to kind of uncharted territories for us. With the Super Regional, it's new. It was new in 19, so it's only been out 1 year, with COVID, and then kind of going backwards with the COVID year last year in 21. So it's different, but we're excited, and we're getting on the road today to Marietta, who's probably the top team in the country, and see what we can do.
Yeah, and you talk about the Super Regional being new, and because of COVID, really only 1 year of newness here. What can you tell us about this uncharted territory and what the Super Regional brings to the sport of baseball and to the postseason in the NCAAs?
I mean, I think with Division III, it makes it the same as across the board with Division I's, which we've tried for years to accomplish. So, I think going into a series in the Super Regional 2 out of 3, it brings you back to the regular season and just playing how you normally play day after day, weekend after weekend when you're in conference. So, it's a little more familiarity with things, and just go do what we normally do.
You know, and this team, like you said, has been resilient. You've found ways to bounce back and fight through it. How would you describe these, you know, after the SUNYACs, how would you describe how this team has been in the NCAAs, just what some of the takeaways you've been, and for people that didn't get to watch the games or didn't get to see it, you know, bring us on this journey with you and let us in to that world of what kind of went down and how you saw it through your eyes.
We've been very offensive all year, and you know, I think in the SUNYAC tournament we struggled when we lost to Cortland. We were terrible defensively, so you know, I think we shored some things up going into the regional, and you know, once you get to that point and guys, we're very seasoned, so when guys know that it could be their last game and they really have to focus and lock it in, and there might not be a tomorrow. You know, I think we showed our true colors. In the regional, we got down and lost Arcadia to a very good Arcadia team who was hosting, and, you know, it was time for our pitching to step up, and we did that. So, you know, I applaud them, and I was very happy from top to bottom with the way we ended the regional and how we're going to go into the super regional.
Yeah, you know, in seeing this, you know, more life. You talked to me about this a couple of weeks ago that you felt like this team had what it took to, you know, get through. And you and I have spoken on how far this team has gotten in years past within, you know, 2017, 18 and whatnot, and what you've been able to do. This team now, you've talked about your belief in them and their ability to get there. Now they're on their way there. So to see it actually be put into action, what can you say to the credit of these young men on what they've done to buckle down and say, okay, coach believes that we can do it, but now we've put it together?
Yeah, there's not too much I have to say to these guys. They're old, and they lead. The older guys lead the team. They're awesome people to be around. You know, I love coaching them. I love them as people. They listen, they respond, you know, but the thing I like about this team the most is when the lights go on, they're ready to go. You know, they're not nervous, they're not tight, they just go play how they normally play, and that's like what I always say to them, like when the lights go on, superstars show up, and I think that's what they do the best.
And why do you think they do that? I mean, is it just is it the veteran status? Is it the fact that, you know, they kind of know what's asked of them? You know, the mental side of things, right? Being able to lock in, and, you know, if you're on the road, if you have somebody screaming at you in the stands, if there's a high stake, something like that, there's a lot of things that can knock people off their game. Why do you think this team is so focused and able to navigate through when, you know, it could be easy to mentally take yourself out of it?
Yeah, we've been there. We've been there year after year, so they've become accustomed to it. They know what it's like, and they know what it takes. So I don't think, you know, it's hard to say when you're going through 45 games, adversity doesn't take over at times, and it does, but we talk about it, we prepare for it, and how to deal with adversity and failure and just move forward and forget about it. Baseball is different, you know, because there's a lot of times where you're going to fail, and you got to figure out how to get on the right side. I don't think, you know, and not let it snowball into, you know, because there's a lot of times where you're going to fail, and you got to figure out how to. So I think they do a good job of that.
That coming here from Scott Landers, the head baseball coach for the Oswego State Lakers, who are heading on to the super regional round of the NCAAs, continuing their postseason opportunity here to fight toward the opportunity for a championship. You said that, you know, that this team, you love coaching them, you love being around them. When you were putting this team together, when you and your staff were recruiting and trying to find what was going to be, you know, the right pieces and the right fit, in those moments you think you know what you're doing, right? But you don't know exactly what it's going to look like. When you look back on those moments, what was it about recruiting these guys that you just felt like you had something? Because you were right, but I mean, you have to roll the dice a little bit here and saying, I'm going to trust what I see on film. I'm going to trust what the coaches say. I'm going to trust what the parents say. I'm going to trust the character of the kid. I'm going to trust what they tell me. So you had to do your research, but also roll the dice. The dice came up good for you. What can you say about looking back on those moments and saying, oh, okay, like what did you see in them that you feel like came to fruition the most?
I mean, let's face it, we're wrong a lot of times in this profession. You like you said, you got to roll the dice, and for us, we want to bring in guys who fit our school and guys who fit our culture first and foremost. And that doesn't always happen. So we want good people, we want tough kids to come in, but they got to be athletic. And if they're an athletic kid, we can get them better. And if they have the will to win and their toughness, they're going to get themselves better. And that's kind of where it has to start with these guys, and not be a selfish, an eye guy, or outside the box, or just outside our team culture. Those guys. There's plenty of those guys, and we have to kind of get rid of those guys because they're going to be cancerous to what we're trying to accomplish. But once guys get here, they truly kind of believe in what we're trying to accomplish and start to fit in.
And like you said, I mean, you had made mention of, hey, we're wrong. That happens. When you look at what this team has become, what you saw in them recruiting them to what you see now, have they exceeded your expectations? Have they met what you anticipated from them? How do you look at that?
No, I don't think so. I always expect big things from these guys. And, for this team, in most teams over the past 7 years, is our goal is a national championship. So, are we going to fall short? I don't know. Can we get there? Yes. This is just another step along our road to get there. But you also got to remember, this is the second year off of COVID. These guys, there's no script for this team. You're just kind of piecing things together. Who has more eligibility, who doesn't. So this is a better part of 6 classes rather than 4. So it's different.
And we talked about COVID and how that has affected, everybody. Can you look back at it now and say, what, as bad as COVID was, as bad as this pandemic was to the health and safety of people, we did see a silver lining in this. Do you have that?
I don't know. Silver lining in terms of some of these guys I've gotten a longer stay with. They've been here longer now, and that's great because I love them to death and would do anything for them. But, you go back to 2020, I thought we had a really, really good team and a chance to go far into the tournament. We got cut short. 21 last year, it was modified, but we were really, really strong. So is there a silver lining? I don't know. We just keep plugging away year after year and try to put people in place where we need it.
Yeah, coming here from Scott Landers, head baseball coach with the Oswego State Lakers, heading off to the Super Regionals. Where do you feel you have been tested the most up to this point? You talked about, your guys coming through and being resilient. What are the moments where you can admit to me, because don't worry, it's just you and I. We're on the air live to the world, but it's you and I talking. So, but were those moments that you can pick out to say, like, not necessarily nervous, right? But those high octane situations that you can point back to and be like, wow, like our guys got out of that. Do you have a moment or two from the NCAAs this year?
I would say the whole year.
Okay.
It's been a grind. We put a schedule together, or I put a schedule together that was really, really tough, second to none. When we got our Florida schedule, I was wondering if it was too tough. because it was a battle day after day after day. And we responded with how we played. We had a lot of injuries right from the get-go, and missing players and changing players around, at different positions. So I think the whole year has been a grind, but yet it's prepared us to where we are right now.
Do you allow yourself, my friend, to enjoy any of this in the moment? Or are you just totally locked in, like, okay, we got it, now we got to practice, go to the next one? Do you let yourself enjoy the moment?
I never used to.
Okay.
And I've learned from that. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I used to just focus on the, what's next. And I've learned to just enjoy game after game after game and not get too high, not too low, and just stay in the moment rather than the future. And that's why I feel like this past weekend was so gratifying, and because I got to see it firsthand rather than just being a coach and being like, okay, on to the next weekend. I really watched these guys grind it out and focus and be determined for each other, and I was really, really proud of what I saw. So, for me, it's just with two little ones at home and a different world now than before, I've learned to really just sit in the moment and enjoy everything that you've accomplished.
Has COVID and going through a pandemic made you appreciate the good old rain delay?
COVID's done a lot of things, to our profession. It's made you, for one, I think it's made a lot of people lazy, and getting back to normalcy was tough.
Yeah.
But really thinking about what's important in your life, and is baseball important to me? 100%. I do it for a living. I love it. But at the end of the day, there's also a lot of other things that are important to me as well that I got to manage my time for, especially my two little ones at home. I do not want to miss a baseball game or a lacrosse practice or a gymnastics thing with my daughters. So it's made me appreciate a lot of different things, but also appreciate that I do a job that's more of a hobby.
Yeah, and like you said, appreciating the moment, taking in the moment. You got your two little ones, and, I remember doing a show with you a few years back, and they were running around and whatnot. I mean, for you, coaches talk about, I want to do this, right? I want to go to the game. I want to, eventually I will, and they keep coaching, and they miss stuff. How do you try to balance both where, obviously you not only have a baseball program, you have a successful baseball program. You travel. You have more than 30 wins this season, and you're trying to win a championship. So how do you balance and maximize your time with your kids?
Off season, I really I want them in the off season, and I want to be able to be there at every single thing that I can, because I know it's hard during the season. And I'm lucky that my ex-wife is very, very supportive of my schedule and with my kids. And so during the season, when I'm at practice and I got to leave and they got something going on, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the office and I'm going to watch them or go get them. And so it's not that hard. But I do have the support system around me to make it much, much easier.
That coming here from Scott Landers, and as you get set for this and excited for this, I mean, we look at what you did in Glendale, Pennsylvania, and going through that and seeing the play that you obviously were able to bring forward in games that, the rain delay and postponement and coming back and finding a way to get a victory. I mean, seeing what you did there, when you go back to the regional for this, and you look at the teams you played and the level of competition you had, how have they prepared you for what's coming up this Friday, May 27th against Marietta, as you have named, arguably the best team out there? What has the regional done to get you set for the super regional?
I think we've faced every sort of adversity we've been put against this year and succeeded. So, with the schedule, we've played a lot of top 10 teams. We've played a lot of regional opponents, and so I think it's set us up to, we understand. We play well at Marietta, we win. Don't play well, we're probably going to lose. So, I think we'll stick with our game plan, and we know going in with a lot of confidence that if we play our game, we got a shot.
What do you want to say to the fans out there, these Laker proud, the Laker lunatics, so to speak? What do you want to say to all of them? And I mean that as a term of endearment, folks. It's what they call themselves. But so what do you want to say to them and to their support?
Well, we're trying hard for, our community and in the school. But honestly, just thank you for the fans, for the school, the institution backing us, our athletic administration, and our families. So, I really appreciate them and all that they do for us. And now hopefully we can go and take care of business and bring a championship home.
Well, you've been knocking at the door of that, and I think that door is going to get knocked down eventually. I want it to be this season, and I am so happy for all the work that you've done, Scott. I mean, the level of support that you have had, the people that I have seen that I know that have supported you, total strangers that have reached out in support. I am so elated that, somebody that I care about and I've been around here for years now is not only having continued success, but is getting that support and that kindness and generosity from people. So, be excited, have fun, enjoy it. I'm happy you're living in the moment. It's something that you and I have been learning how to do. And so, I'm happy that you're living in the moment, and, so happy that we had the opportunity to spend some time here today. But selfishly, we got to sit down again soon, because that's always the most fun, and, getting to just kind of talk on the air and off the air. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, and I'm excited for more. Thank you for making my Disney trip all the more sweet, because I got to keep seeing good news on my timeline.
Awesome. I appreciate the support as well.
So I look forward to talking with you soon. Be safe, and I'm excited about this Friday, May 27th, Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. That game is going to be at noon Eastern time. So we'll make sure we let you all know how to watch and listen to that. And as always, Scott, thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks for the support from everybody, and let's go Lakers.
Talk soon. Take care. That coming from Scott Landers one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Always fun having Scott on the show. And it is. I mean, I'm selfish when it comes to this stuff, right? I love talking to my friends and seeing my friends succeed. I don't think that makes me selfish. I think that makes me supportive. But what I mean by that is I want to keep playing, I want to keep going, because I'm very proud of the work that they have done. And you want to see great people succeed. And I have been able to see some really amazing people win championships here in the past year, and I would love for Scott to be the next person to do that. So definitely appreciate Scott Landers, his entire staff, all of the student athletes, of course, the administration, Oswego State in and of itself as an institution. We thank you, we appreciate you, and we applaud you for everything that you've done. So big shout out to Oswego State Lakers baseball heading off to the Super Regionals, which is new since 2019 to NCAA Division III. The Super Regional will find them on Friday, May 27th, just a couple days from now, at noon Eastern Time in Marietta, Ohio, up against Marietta College, with an opportunity to move forward to the World Series. And I am very excited and hopeful for the team. So, with that being said, we're going to take our final step aside of this video, and we'll be back to get you all set and ready to go for our Fantasy Football Power Hour. We thank you so much for being here, and I really can't say enough how much it means to me that you're a part of the show and that you support the great people that I have the pleasure, the honor, and the blessing to be able to talk with. So God has been way too good to me. And as I always tell him, that doesn't mean that I plan on giving any of that back. I appreciate every one of those blessings, and I take them in and then look to pay them forward. So thank you for all you're doing, Scott. Thank you for all you're doing, Oswego State, to the team, everybody. Thank you. There's not a single person connected to that team that I don't want to thank. So thank you to every single one of you that's worked so hard and so diligently to be where we are today. No job goes unnoticed or underappreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. With that being said, we'll take a step aside for our final fast break from the Cafe Kubal Studios, and we'll get you ready for fantasy football right after this, inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We appreciate you hanging out with us where sports meets that thing called life. And we thank you for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank my guests here inside of Dolphin Dive, which we do every second and fourth Wednesday of each month. Every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time is Dolphin time, so make sure that you're hanging out with us there first and third Wednesday with AD and DT, with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, the Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of coaches, student athletes, future Dolphins, alumni, and administration, and of course, celebrating LeMoyne men's and women's tennis today. So very excited to be able to do that with Jeff Lonczak, not just today, but throughout the weeks here. So very much appreciate him for that and all the awesome work that they've done. And Scott Landers as his team heads on to the Super Regionals for the Oswego State Lakers baseball team. And they have the opportunity this Friday to move toward the World Series once again. So very excited for everything that they're doing and very happy for them on a 33-11 season that looks to get that much sweeter. Coming up here is going to be the Fantasy Football Power Hour in its own video, but not before I let you know once again to tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. Of course, on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. Once the shows go live, you can check us out in the archives by going to Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, TuneIn, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, as well as Podbean and YouTube, Amazon Music, and Audible. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Proud thanks to all of our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Honda City of Liverpool, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicerone, Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of your LeMoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can check out your Dolphins every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time during Dolphin Time. First and third Wednesday with AD and DT, featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, as well as every second and fourth Wednesday with the Dolphin Dive, featuring the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, as well as future Dolphins and alumni. Make sure you check out all of that and more on the LeMoyne tab of WakeUpCallDT.com. wakeupcalldt.com, as well as by subscribing to us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And of course, for more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood University Pacers. It's Pacer Pride all throughout the year from my alma mater, and you have the opportunity to get special stories with the Pacers by tuning in on Fridays around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time to round out the week. We bring you stories from the administration, student athletes, and from the coaches of Marywood University, telling the stories of the incredible programs and people that comprise those programs on campus at Marywood University in Scranton, Pennsylvania, just 2 hours south in almost a straight line from Syracuse. And I would definitely consider going to Marywood University, as I can speak from firsthand that it is a truly phenomenal experience that you will remember and can help you for a lifetime. Check out the Pacers by going to our Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. Subscribe to us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And of course, make sure for more information you go to marywoodpacers.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner exclusively of your Bryan and Stratton Bobcats of Syracuse. Bryan and Stratton College right here in Syracuse, New York, has the Bobcat Buzz, bringing you stories from their administration, their student athletes, and coaches every single month. We've been able to have a roundtable discussion with the many coaches there, as we've been able to sit down with athletic director, men's soccer head coach, and national champion Nick Dimitrievsky to get to know him on a more personal level. And we've also done that with Alex Gregorita of the women's soccer team, their head coach, assistant AD of Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and now a national champion himself. We've been able to sit down and have breaking exclusive news with Clay Gagan-Sherman, the new basketball head coach for the men's side after coaching the women's side, and the exclusive special with the new women's basketball head coach, Tay Baker, as well as sitting down with Sean Peak and having an exclusive with him on him starting the baseball program for Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, who is heading toward their inaugural season. So, a lot of great stuff and a lot more to come. We've had the Bobcats out in the community at Mother's Cupboard and Cafe Kubal. We'll look forward to continuing to making history with the Bobcats as they continue to have unprecedented coverage of their school right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and exclusively here. So, with that being said, big shout out to the Bobcats and a thank you to each and every single one of them. Make sure you go to the BSCSYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com to get our archive, as well as subscribing on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And of course, you can find us by find more information on the Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With all that being said, we're going to start our new video for fantasy football, as we always do every Wednesday in hour number 2 in the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. So join us in our new video. We thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in just a moment on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. And of course, we look forward to continuing the conversation on mixlr.com/WakeUpCallDT as well. So we look forward to talking with you soon. And as always, God bless, no stress,